WWE Official Adam Pearce to face Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble. Injured WWE Superstars hints at a return after Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode win the Smackdown Tag Team titles, and multiple superstars announced their entry to the 2021 Royal Rumble. Hello everyone, Jose G here bringing you today's top stories in today's SK Wrestling News Roundup. Adam Pearce will face Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble. In the shocking turn of events, Adam Pearce will challenge Roman Reigns for the WWE Universal Championship at the Royal Rumble. Adam Pearce was the last entry into a gauntlet match that was held on this week's episode of Smackdown. On the most recent episode of Smackdown, Adam Pearce pinned Shinsuke Nakamura in a gauntlet match to become the next challenger for the WWE Universal Championship. Pearce was thrown into the match after Paul Heyman pulled some strings and forced him to compete. The announcement came as a response to Adam Pearce's decision to give Kevin Owens a match against Jey Uso on last week's episode of Smackdown. The Tribal Chief took his development as a sign of Pearce's disrespect to him. After a short confrontation, Heyman convinced Reigns to back off, but the Advocate worked his magic and had Pearce entered into the match. Pearce is now set to face Reigns for the title at Royal Rumble later this month. Some fans are quite confused by this decision, but at the very least, WWE threw the viewers a curveball by inserting Pearce into the title picture. As Adam Pearce mentioned on WWE Smackdown this week, he has not competed in a wrestling match in 6 years. Pearce's last match was in 2014 when he faced Colt Cabana in a singles match. Pearce has been working as a WWE official since 2013, and he was recently put in charge of both WWE Raw and SmackDown. He will now have to start training for his upcoming match at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Injured WWE Superstars hint at a return after Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode win their Smackdown Tag Team titles. The latest episode of WWE SmackDown saw Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode win the SmackDown Tag Team titles from the Street Profits. The former WWE Raw Tag Team Champions Eric and Ivar took to social media to give their cryptic response to the title change. Writing on Instagram, Ivar reacted to WWE's post about Ziggler and Roode's with 3 look emojis. His fellow Viking Raider member Eric also reacted thinking emojis and has not competed in a match since September of 2020 in an episode of Raw. The episode featured the match which saw the Viking Raiders, Apollo Crews, and Ricochet lose against the Hurt Business. During the match, Ivar landed awkwardly following a suicide dive outside of the ring. The 36-year-old underwent neck surgery and has not appeared on WWE television since. It's unclear when the Viking Raiders will return to in-ring action in WWE as a WWE tag team. While Ivar underwent neck surgery in September of 2020, Eric went under surgery on his arm in October of 2020. Eric quickly recovered and competed in matches against Titus O'Neil and Akira Tozawa on a main event early November 2020. His last match took place November 9th, which he participated in a 7-man 24/7 championship match on Raw. Drew McIntyre to face former WWE Champion on Raw next week in response to Royal Rumble challenge from Goldberg. WWE released a promotional video for Monday Night Raw next week advertising the show will be a huge night for WWE Champion Drew McIntyre. It has been announced that Drew McIntyre will face Randy Orton on Raw next week on a non-title match. The two have a lot of bad blood between them, and it will be interesting to see on how things turn out this coming up Monday. Last week on Raw on Legends Night, Drew McIntyre successfully defended his WWE title against Keith Lee in the main event match. However, the Scottish Warrior was in for a massive shock following his victory as Goldberg returned and went on to challenge him for the championship at the upcoming Royal Rumble pay-per-view. As seen on Raw last week, Goldberg claimed that McIntyre hasn't earned his respect yet. This led to the WWE Hall of Famer taking a shot at the champion, and according to a new Raw promotional video, the WWE Universe could see Drew McIntyre respond to Goldberg's challenge on the upcoming episode of Raw as well. Shinsuke Nakamura responds to his controversial loss in a gauntlet match on SmackDown. On this week's episode of Smackdown, Shinsuke Nakamura showcased an Iron Man performance by making it to the final round of the #1 Contenders Gauntlet match. The bout was determined the WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns' next challenger for the upcoming Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Nakamura took to Twitter to respond following his brilliant performance on the Blue brand, which generated a positive response from the WWE Universe. The King of Strong Style posed a cryptic question, which may allude to the fact that he is annoyed at Roman Reigns and Jey Uso for getting involved in the match. Nakamura had defeated Rey Mysterio, King Corbin, and Daniel Bryan before he was controversially pinned by WWE official Adam Pearce. Pearce. Although the gauntlet match was set to feature only 5 superstars including Nakamura, Pearce was added to the bout by Roman Reigns' special counsel, Paul Heyman. This was done because Reigns wanted to teach Pearce a lesson, as he was the one responsible for making the match between Kevin Owens and his cousin Jey Uso on last week's SmackDown. Shinsuke Nakamura displayed tremendous heart on this week's show as he overcame the odds to advance to the final stage of the match. His battle with King Corbin and former WWE Champion Daniel Bryan were truly remarkable and was the best bit of booking for the former NXT Champion has received in years. However, the WWE Universal Champion and Jey Uso joint attack left the Japanese superstar vulnerable and lost the match after Pearce was forcefully made to pin him. Otis, Bayley, and Bianca Belair announced their entry to this year's Royal Rumble match. WWE has officially announced that Otis will be a participant in this year's Men's Royal Rumble match. The former member of Heavy Machinery becomes the 5th member of the men's roster to announce his entry. WWE shared the news on their website and even shared a post via their official Twitter handle. The former Money in the Bank briefcase winner joins the likes of Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and Bobby Lashley as the superstars who have officially announced their entries to the 2021 edition of the Royal Rumble. This will be Otis's first time in the Royal Rumble match. He has been impressive as of late, and thus there will be a lot of people in the WWE Universe expecting a great performance from the former Heavy Machinery member. Bayley and Bianca Belair have also both announced their entries into the Women's Royal Rumble match. This now means that 4 superstars have officially announced their entry into the marquee match. While making her announcement in an interview backstage, the EST of WWE was interrupted by the role model, who would also make her entry into the Royal Rumble official. There was a short exchange between the 2 women regarding Bianca Belair's performance in last year's Rumble and Bayley's current lacking championship around her waist. Following their announcements, Bianca Belair and Bayley have now become the first 2 female superstars to officially enter the Women's Royal Rumble match from SmackDown. They joined both Charlotte Flair and Nia Jax from Raw. Both Belair and Bayley will be looking to add Royal Rumble match win to their resumes and will be gunning for an opportunity to challenge for either the Raw or SmackDown Women's Championship. Thanks for watching today's SK Wrestling News Roundup. For more stories, follow us on all social media. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Download the Sportskeeda app for the most up-to-date stories in the world of wrestling.